Dividing integers. Dividing integers uses the same rules as multiplying integers. That means that dividing a positive by a positive equals a positive. Dividing a positive by a negative equals a negative. And dividing a negative by a negative equals a positive. So let's look at the examples that we have here. We've got positive 9 divided by positive 3. So we know that 9 divided by 3 is 3. And now we make a decision about the sign. So we've got a positive divided by a positive. That means it is a positive. And we don't have to put the sign. I'm just showing that it would be a positive number. Now we've got negative 9 divided by positive 3. And we know this is a positive because it does not have the negative sign in front of it. So 9 divided by 3 is still going to be 3. But what sign is it going to have? Is it going to be a positive or is it going to be negative? Well, our rule tells us that a positive divided by a negative equals a negative. So it's going to be negative 3. And then we got our last one here, negative 9 divided by negative 3. So again, we know we're going to have a 3 because 9 divided by 3 is 3. But is it going to be positive 3 or negative 3? Well, we've got a negative 9 and a negative 3. And we know that a negative divided by a negative equals a positive. So again, this will be positive 3. Okay, let's try a few more questions that we have here. So we've got 10 divided by 2. So that is positive 10 divided by positive 2 gives us positive 5, because a positive divided by a positive equals a positive. What about 21 divided by negative 7? So we know we're going to have 3, because 21 divided by 7 is 3, but is it negative 3 or positive 3? Well, we have a positive and a negative. We know that a positive divided by a negative always equals a negative. What about negative 21 divided by 7? Again, we've got the same numbers that we see above, so we know we're going to have a 3, because 21 divided by 7 is 3, but is it a negative 3 or a positive 3? So we've got a negative 21 divided by a positive 7. We know that a negative divided by a positive is always a negative. And last, we've got negative 15 divided by negative 3. So we know this is going to give us a 5, because 15 divided by 3 is 5. But is it a negative 5 or a positive 5? Well, when we look at these, we have a negative 15, a negative 3. A negative divided by a negative is always a positive. So we don't have to have the positive sign in front, but that's exactly what it means. So when we have the number by itself, we know it's always a positive. So just one final quick reminder. A positive divided by a positive equals a positive. A positive divided by a negative equals a negative. Same thing if we've got a negative divided by a positive equals a negative. And a negative divided by a negative equals a positive. If we can remember these rules, we'll always know how to divide integers.